God has given me a life full of exciting experiences. It reads like a suspense novel, and I want to invite you in that journey. My political journey started when I was a young man, elected to the state legislature, elected to the U.S. Congress, and finally appointed as the ambassador to the United Nations. I'm not saying this to brag, but to confess that through all those powerful positions, I look back on it and very little was accomplished. Why? Because we live in a dysfunctional system. And as an evangelical Christian serving in all those various posts, it occurred to me I was a half-breed. I love God, but disdained my enemies, my political enemies, the enemies of America. And this all triggered within me a spiritual awakening. So I began taking stock of what I could do differently, strategically. I needed to adhere to the teachings of Jesus and start loving people, even my enemies. So I attempted to apply this with world leaders, loving the enemies of America with stunning results. We're making peace. We're engaging in ending wars. In fact, it gained the attention of the military-industrial complex and many of the elite in the power structures of our government. Just after 9/11, General Wesley Clark revealed a secret plan the Pentagon had to change regimes in 7 countries, 4 of which we were working to make peace.
I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
And we were warned starting with President Eisenhower in 1961.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
In fact, we are at war with peace. As a consequence, I was personally attacked with horrific charges of funding terrorism and conspiracy and bizarre charges. But they worked. They hindered our peace efforts. They crushed me personally, financially. Our family was in turmoil, and I was even sentenced to prison. Yet, in the process of it, God was there. So I wondered to God, now that I'm in prison, will Track 5 work here? We all knelt and prayed together. Hundreds of inmates were affected, and we went to the tough prisons, not the easy camps. This Track 5 strategy works in almost any place, palaces and prisons. So what does it mean to you? Why care about it? Because if you embrace the awakening, the training, and you apply it to action, it can impact your personal life, your family, and your community. So if we work together, we can have a tremendous impact on the world around you and the world around us.
On behalf of the Track 5 community, I would like to invite you to join us in this journey of awakening. Please continue watching in Part 2.